Get out of my store. People like you don't walk out with bags. You walk out with security. The words sliced through the luxury boutique like broken glass. Sharp and loud enough to make everyone turn, a red-lipped sales associate in a fitted blazer stood with her arms crossed, blocking the path of a black woman holding a tiny brown-skinned baby on her hip. "Ma'am," she sneered, "put the purse back before I call security. This isn't a charity. We're not running a welfare closet." Cameras lifted from manicured hands. Designer shopping bags rustled as wealthy customers shifted uncomfortably. Watching but not moving, listening but not speaking, the woman with the baby didn't flinch. She just adjusted the strap of the handbag over her arm and said calmly, "I already paid for it. My receipt is in the bag. And my name is Dr. Jordan Ellis." The sales associate laughed, cold and dismissive. "Sure it is. And I'm the President of the United States. You people always think you can talk your way into places you don't belong." She stepped closer, invading Jordan's space, perfume thick and cloying. "Put it back." Jordan's jaw tightened. "I'm not stealing," she said, voice steady. "I'm leaving with what I purchased. You can check the cameras. You can scan the bag. But you are not going to accuse me of the slap came out of nowhere." The associate's hand cracked across Jordan's cheek, hard enough to turn her head. Her baby Ava screamed, tiny fingers digging into Jordan's shoulder in terror. "Don't you raise your voice at me," the woman hissed. "Touch my merchandise again, and I'll have your child taken away. Thieves don't get to keep babies they can't afford." The boutique fell silent. Music still played softly from hidden speakers, but it felt far away now, thin and hollow. No one gasped. No one moved. Have you ever watched something unforgivable happen and stayed quiet? 8 hours earlier, sunlight warmed the kitchen of Jordan's townhouse, turning stainless steel appliances into sheets of soft gold. Ava sat in her high chair, kicking her socked feet, babbling at a piece of toast she kept dropping and demanding back with impatient hands. Jordan moved through the morning like choreography she'd practiced 1,000 times. Bottle warmed. Diaper bag packed. Coffee poured. Phone checked. Hospital emails answered between bites of cold cereal. On the wall behind her hung a timeline of a life no one in that boutique would have believed belonged. To a black woman, they were calling welfare, college scholarship, medical school graduation, residency in bright blue caps and gowns, a framed headline, "Youngest Director of Emergency Medicine at St. Raphael Medical Center," cited. A photo that hurt and healed at the same time, Jordan in a white dress, laughing. Her husband Malik lifting her off the ground like she weighed nothing at all. He'd been gone for 2 years now. A drunk driver on a rainy Tuesday. A police officer knocking at the door at 2:17 a.m. A life ripped in half while she held a newborn in her arms. "Okay." "Superstar," she murmured now, kissing Ava's forehead as she wiped toast crumbs off the baby's cheeks. "Big day today, remember?" On the table lay a glossy black envelope, thick cardstock embossed with silver. "Private preview event," it read. "La Maison Orel flagship store opening. By invitation only." Most people knew La Maison Orel from magazines. High fashion, handmade leather, price tags that didn't make sense unless you lived in a different tax bracket. Jordan knew it as something. It's Elsa dreams she'd shared with Malik when they were just 2 broke kids in a too small apartment, cutting pictures from fashion magazines and laughing at how out of reach it all was. One day Malik had said, tapping a photo of the boutique's Paris location, "I'm going to walk you into one of these stores, and I'm not even going to look at the price tags. You'll pick what you want. I'll just say, wrap it up for my wife. They never made it to Paris." Instead, the universe sent an email 3 months ago. "Dear Dr. Ellis, on behalf of the board of St. Raphael Medical Center, we are pleased to invite you to join the hospital's philanthropic council. As a token of appreciation, our partner brand La Maison Orel would like to extend an exclusive invitation to the private opening of their new flagship." The envelope on Jordan's table wasn't random luxury. It was recognition, respect, proof that all the nights she'd worked 16-hour shifts, all the lives she'd fought to save, meant something, and it was more than that. She reached for a small velvet box on the counter, opened it carefully. Inside lay a slim gold bracelet with a tiny charm shaped like a heartbeat line. She'd designed it herself for Ava. Today, she planned to buy a matching one from La Maison's, something Ava could wear when she was older. Something from the store her parents had once whispered about like it belonged to another world. Today, Jordan said softly, fastening the bracelet onto her own wrist instead. We walk into that world like we've always belonged. Her phone buzzed. Morning. Dr. Ellis, came the voice of the hospital administrator. Just confirming your keynote speech for the Donors Gala next month. The board is thrilled to have you headlining. Wouldn't miss it, Jordan answered, watching Ava try to grab her mug. We still on for the Diversity Initiative meeting this afternoon? Yes. The board is eager to hear your proposals about equity in patient care. Equity. Funny, she thought later, how she could spend her mornings trying to fix systemic inequality in healthcare, and spend her evening fighting to prove she had the right to buy a bag, but that was still hours away. For now. She slid Ava into her car seat, double-checked the straps like every worried mother did. She slipped on a simple navy jumpsuit, white sneakers, and a camel coat look that whispered quiet wealth.
Hey.
Even though most days, she still felt like the broke kid, who'd worked 3 jobs to pay for textbooks. By noon she'd rounded on patients, checked labs, and signed discharge papers. Nurses waved and called her the miracle catcher. No one in those hospital halls questioned whether she belonged. At 3 p.m., she stood before a conference room full of donors, explaining how zip codes affected life expectancy more than genetics in her city. Charts glowed behind her. Numbers, percentages, stories in disguise. We can't treat what we refuse to see, she said, voice clear, confident. If we want an equitable hospital, we need to start with how we see the people who walk through our doors. They applauded. They nodded. They promised change. By 5:30, she'd changed into the camel coat again, swapped her hospital badge for the black invitation envelope, and strapped Ava into her stroller. Downtown shimmered around them, glass towers catching the last light, billboards flickering to life. Cars flowed like a silver river through the streets. La Maison Orel rose from the sidewalk like a jewel box. Floor-toothed ceiling windows framed mannequins in sculpted leather and silk. A red carpet spilled from the entrance like a tongue. 2 doormen in tailored uniforms flanked the glass doors. Inside, music pulsed just loud enough to feel expensive. Jordan's nerves fluttered for a second. Not because she felt out of place, she told herself, but because this moment was heavy with everything it represented. Malik's dreams, her own journey, the future she wanted for Ava. She pushed the stroller forward. The doorman on the left, a tall man with dark skin and kind eyes, smiled when he saw the baby. Welcome to La Maison Orel, he said. Invitation, please? Jordan handed over the envelope. He scanned it, nodded, and opened the door with a little flourish. Enjoy the evening, Dr. Ellis. He'd read her name. He'd said doctor without surprise. It settled something inside her. Inside, the boutique gleamed. Marble floors, polished brass fixtures, soft lighting that made everything and everyone look like they lived in permanent golden hour. Servers in black carried trays of champagne. A small string quartet played near the center of the room. A woman in a sharp black blazer stepped forward as Jordan entered. Good evening, she said smoothly. Welcome to our private preview. Her name tag read, Kara, Client Relations Manager. Kara, she said, if you need anything at all, don't hesitate to ask. And may I say, your daughter is absolutely beautiful? Jordan smiled, relief loosening her shoulders. Thank you. I'm Jordan. This is Ava, future Orel client, Kara said warmly, winking at the baby. Make yourselves at home. For 40 minutes it worked. Jordan moved through the boutique. Ava propped against her hip now, wide-eyed and fascinated by all the colors and textures. Other guests smiled politely. A few women complimented Ava's curls. No one questioned why they were there. Jordan found the handbag section and saw it. The bag Malik had once circled in a magazine as a joke. Soft black leather, clean lines, a small gold logo at the clasp. The price tag made her eyes widen for a moment. Old habits died hard. Then she remembered. The promotion. The hospital bonus. The investment account Malik had set up for whatever wild dream you decide to chase one day. She ran her fingers over the leather, imagining it resting on a chair in her office, heavy with the life she'd built. Her throat tightened. "Would you like to see it in the mirror?" a soft voice asked. Jordan turned. Kara stood there, hands folded, no judgment in her gaze. "Yes," Jordan said quietly. "I think I would." In the mirror, the bag looked like it had always belonged on her shoulder. Not because of the logo, but because of everything it represented. Long nights. Hard choices, sacrifices no one saw. "I'll take it," Jordan said. Kara smiled, genuine. "Excellent choice. I'll ring you up at the private counter so you don't have to wait in line with Ava." The purchase was simple. Card inserted. PIN entered. Receipt folded and slipped into a small inner pocket of the bag. Kara thanked her again. Told her about the complimentary care service for VIP clients, and reminded her about the upcoming hospital gala. And then Kara was called away by another guest. "Excuse me. Dr. Ellis, I'll be right back if you need anything." Wooden was alone again. Just her, Ava, and the bag. She spent a few more minutes wandering, introducing Ava to textures smooth suede. Cool metal, soft silk, Ava gurgled happily. Reaching for everything, when Jordan finally turned toward the door, the boutique had grown more crowded. New arrivals and glittering. Dressies laughed near the champagne bar. Men in navy suits clustered near the watch display. She didn't notice the woman near the front at first, didn't notice the narrowing eyes, the tight jaw, the way the woman's hand tightened around the iPad she held like it was a weapon. Her name tag read Brittany, Senior Sales Associate. She saw Jordan, saw the stroller, saw the bag, and something ugly curdled behind her eyes. Brittany stepped directly into Jordan's path, blocking the exit with a practiced smile that never touched her gaze. "Can I help you with something?" she asked, voice syrupy and sharp at the same time. Jordan's hold on Ava shifted automatically into something more protective. "No.
Thank you.
I'm all set. Just heading out." With that, Brittany's eyes flicked to the bag on Jordan's shoulder. "Where did you get it?" "I purchased it," Jordan said simply. "At the private counter. You can check the system if you like." Brittany's smile cracked. "We don't have a private counter staff on tonight. That's for VIP appointments only." Jordan frowned. "Then you might want to talk to Kara. She's the one who helped me." Brittany's jaw tightened. Kara isn't authorized to process purchases for everyone. The pause after 4 was tiny. Loud. Jordan's chest tightened. "I don't know what you're implying," she said slowly, "but my card went through. I have a receipt." Brittany rolled her eyes, "Right? Because you people always have a receipt when security shows up." She lifted the iPad, tapped something quickly, then stepped closer. Too close. "Put the bag on the counter," she said quietly. "Now, before I have you removed," Jordan's fingers dug into the leather strap. Ava whimpered, feeling the tension coil in her mother's body. "No," Jordan said. The word came out steady, but her heart was pounding. "I'm not putting down something I paid for because you don't believe I belong here. You can scan it. You can check the cameras. But I'm walking out with my property." Smile vanished completely. And that was the moment. Everything began to spiral. The moment that would end careers. The moment that would put an entire industry on trial. The moment a black doctor holding her baby was about to be treated like a criminal. In a store whose brand would soon wish they'd never heard Brittany's name. For a heartbeat, the boutique was silence and perfume. Then Brittany's hand flew. The slap rang out, sharp as a gunshot. Jordan's head snapped to the side. Her cheek burned, eyes stinging. Ava exploded into panicked wails, tiny fists clutching at Jordan's coat. "Don't you take that tone with me," Brittany hissed. "You think you can just stroll in here with your stroller and your attitude and walk out with a bag like that? Put Put it back before I have your baby taken away for being in danger. The words didn't just cut, they carved. Several nearby customers turned fully now. A white couple near the shoe display stared, horrified. A young man in a hoodie froze mid-sip of champagne, glass halfway to his lips. A teenage girl by the sunglasses stand slowly raised her phone. No one stepped in, not yet. Jordan swallowed the taste of copper in her mouth. Her voice, when it came, was low and controlled. "You just hit me," she said. "In the middle of your store, in front of my child, over a bag I paid for. You shoved me first," Brittany snapped, loud enough for others to hear. "You tried to push past me? I defended myself and my merchandise. That bag doesn't belong to you." "I never touched you," Jordan answered. "And if you think I'm leaving without what I paid for, you can." Brittany's nails dug into Jordan's arm as she grabbed the strap of the bag. Jordan twisted away, tightening her hold on Ava. "Security," Brittany shouted, her voice flipping from spite to practiced panic. "Security, now. We have a theft in progress." The room shifted. 2 security guards hurried over from near the entrance. One was a tall white man with a buzz cut and a heavy jaw. His name tag read Ken Security. The other was shorter, Latino, eyes sharp and wary. "Miguel Security, what's going on?" Miguel asked, gaze flicking from Brittany's red face to Jordan's stunned one. Then to the crying baby. "This woman is trying to leave with unpaid merchandise," Brittany said quickly, pointing accusingly at Jordan. "She got aggressive when I stopped her. She hit me and tried to push past. She clutched at her cheek like she was the one who'd been slapped. No mark. No redness. Just performance." Miguel frowned. "Did you scan the bag?" Ken didn't wait. He stepped in front of Jordan, squaring his shoulders. "Looming, ma'am," he said, voice hard. "I need you to put the bag down and step away from it." Jordan shifted Ava higher, putting her between her and Brittany, not as a shield, but as protection. "I have a receipt inside the bag," she said, speaking carefully, like talking to someone with a weapon. "Your client relations manager, Kara, processed it. Check your system. Check your cameras." "Kara doesn't have clearance for high-value items," Brittany said, eyes gleaming. "She must have been tricked. Look at her. Us." She gestured at Jordan like she was an exhibit. "Does that scream can afford a $4,000 bag to you?" Miguel's jaw twitched. Ken's eyes went cold. "Ma'am," Ken repeated, "put the bag on the counter. Now, we'll sort it out after." "No," Jordan said. "This is mine. I paid for it. I'm not letting go of it so you can misplace my receipt and claim I never purchased it." "She's refusing to comply," Brittany said, triumphant. "This is exactly what I mean. They always act like the rules don't apply to them." The word dropped heavy between them. Miguel heard it. The teenage girl recording heard it. The white couple near the shoe display heard it. Jordan's cheeks still burned. Ava still cried. Her heart still pounded. But her spine? It stayed straight. "I want to speak to the store manager," Jordan said. "Not a sales associate who just assaulted me. The manager." "Now, you can speak to whoever you want after you put the bag down," Ken snapped. "We're not asking again." Actually, a quiet voice cut in. "I'd like to hear her out." The store manager stepped forward from the watch section, tie slightly loosened, face already a bit pale. His name tag read LIAM, store manager. He looked like a man who had spent his life smoothing over rich people's tantrums and ignoring everything that didn't threaten profits. "What's happening, Brittany?" he asked, trying to sound in control. "This woman is attempting to steal a signature bag," Brittany said quickly. "I confronted her and she raised her voice and got aggressive. She has no proof of purchase. She's disturbing other clients." "That's a lie," Jordan said, finally letting some steel into her voice. "I paid at the private counter. Your employee, Kara, handled it. The receipt is inside the bag which your associate just tried to rip off my shoulder after hitting me." Liam's gaze flicked between them, then to the crowd. Phones were up now, at least 4, maybe 5. He swallowed. "Let's all take a breath," he said weakly. "Ma'am, if you'll just set the bag on the counter, can check our system, I'm not letting go of my property, Jordan interrupted. You don't get to accuse me of theft and then demand I hand over the only proof that clears me, Brittany scoffed. This is ridiculous. Do you hear how she's talking to you? She walked in here like she owns the place, with a baby practically screaming for attention. It's obviously a scam. This is why we have standards. The words weren't even coded anymore. The older white woman by the shoes stepped closer, her husband at her side. Excuse me, she said cautiously, voice trembling but firm. We've been standing here since you stopped her. We saw the whole thing. That young woman never raised her voice until after you slapped her. Brittany's head snapped around. Ma'am, I appreciate your concern, but you must have misunderstood what you saw. Security has it under control. No, the woman said, louder this time. We didn't misunderstand. We heard you say you people. We saw you block her path. We watched you hit her while she was holding her baby. A teenage girl with the phone chimed in. I got the slap on video, she said. Heart racing, but eyes steady. It's all here. She lifted her phone. Miguel looked at the girl. Then at Liam. Boss, he said quietly. We should check that video before we escalate. Ken bristled. We don't take orders from random kids with phones, he snapped. Ma'am, last chance. Put the bag down, or we're detaining you until police arrive. Police? Jordan repeated, disbelief cracking into anger. You're calling the police on a paying customer because your associate doesn't like the way I look. Because you're stealing, Brittany shot back. Stop making it about race. Jordan held her gaze. You said you people like it wasn't about race, she said. You looked at my skin, at my baby, at my coat, and decided I didn't belong. Phones multiplied. Another shopper started recording from the staircase. A server holding champagne backed up to get a wider angle. Liam saw the cameras now. Really saw them. His palms started to sweat. Everyone, please, he said, voice cracking. Let's just resolve this calmly. No one needs to record. A man in a navy suit near the watches shook his head. Oh, we're recording, he said. Because I've seen this movie before. It never ends well when there's no video. Brittany's face flushed. Liam, are you seriously going to let random customers undermine your staff? She demanded. She doesn't have a receipt. She doesn't have a bag from the counter. She's holding a stolen item and refusing to comply. Call the police. Liam hesitated, eyes darting to Ken, then to Brittany, then to Jordan's baby. Do you have any proof? He finally asked Jordan. A transaction notification? An email? Anything? My phone is in my coat pocket, Jordan said. But every time I move, your security tenses like I'm about to run. I'm not running from a place that took my money. No. Miguel stepped forward. I'll get your phone, he said. Tell me which pocket. Ken grabbed his arm. No, he snapped. We follow procedure. She puts the bag down. Then we check. You're escalating this for no reason, Miguel said, frustration creeping into his tone. She's not threatening anyone. She's standing here holding a baby. Then she can put the bag down and prove she's innocent, Ken shot back. If she refuses, that tells us all we need to know. Or, Jordan said calmly, you could accept that you're making decisions based on prejudice and fear, not facts. Brittany laughed bitterly. Oh, right. The race card. Of course. You people always know how to play that one. The words hung heavy in the air. The teenage girl whispered. She really said it again. Into her mic. Jordan took a slow breath. She could feel Ava's little heart pounding against her chest. Every instinct screamed at her to leave. To protect her child? But leaving meant Brittany kept her job. Leaving meant the next black woman who walked in alone. Or with a baby, or with a tired expression after a long day. Would walk into the same humiliation? No, Jordan thought. It stops here. Out loud, she said, then call the police. But understand this, every single person here is filming. Every phone is a witness. You're not going to twist this into a neat little story about an angry black thief without evidence. Brittany grabbed the iPad again. I already hit the panic button, she said. They're on their way. And trust me, sweetheart, we all know how that ends. Jordan looked at her, really looked at her, the smugness. The certainty. The belief that a badge would back her, no questions asked. "You're right," Jordan said softly. "We do know how it usually ends." Her cheek still stung, her baby still cried, her hand still shook, but her eyes, they were clear as glass. It took less than 8 minutes for the police to arrive. In those 8 minutes, the boutique became a pressure cooker. Miguel kept shifting his weight. Torn between following his partner's lead and his own conscience, Ken stayed planted like a wall. Arms crossed, jaw clenched. Eyes fixed on Jordan like she was already guilty, Liam kept dabbing his forehead with a handkerchief. Watching the door like he could will this away, Brittany paced, hands fluttering dramatically whenever she caught someone's camera pointed at her. She threatened me. She told anyone who would listen. She shoved me when I tried to stop her. "I'm just doing my job." "You weren't doing your job when you slapped her," the teenage girl muttered. The older couple edged closer to Jordan. "We're not leaving," the woman whispered. "We'll stay until this is handled. You're not alone." "Thank you," Jordan said quietly. "Just keep recording." Ava's cries had softened to hiccup-high whimpers now, her face damp and flushed from tears. Jordan rocked her gently, humming under her breath. Keeping her own eyes on the door, she knew this part. She'd seen it on the news, phone videos, viral hashtags. Tears on camera, she just never thought she'd be the one standing at the center of the footage. The doors opened. 2 officers stepped in. One was a white man in his 40s. Hair thinning at the temples, eyes already narrowed like he'd made up his mind before he walked through the door. The other was a black woman in her early 30s, her gaze alert and careful. Their name tags read, Officer Harris and Officer Clark. Brittany rushed toward them, putting on fear like perfume. "Officers, thank God," she said, voice trembling just enough. "That woman over there is trying to steal merchandise. She got violent when we stopped her. She's refusing to cooperate." Clark's eyes went straight to Jordan. A black woman. A baby. A circle of phones. A white associate touching her cheek like she'd been the one hit. Clark had seen this movie too. Too many times. Harris. "Though, zeroed in on the bag, ma'am," he barked. Stepping toward Jordan, "Step away from the merchandise." Jordan tightened her hold on Ava. "I'm not stepping away from my property," she said. "I paid for this. I have a receipt in the bag and a transaction on my phone. I've committed no crime." "We got a 911 call about an aggressive female suspect attempting to flee with unpaid goods," Harris said, hand hovering near his cuffs. "You match the description. You're holding the merchandise. You're not leaving until we sort this out." Clark stepped in beside him. "Let's just slow down," she said. "Ma'am, what's your name?" "Dr. Jordan Ellis," Jordan replied. "I'm an emergency physician at St. Raphael Medical. I was invited to this private event by the hospital board. I bought this bag." "Your officer," she nodded at Harris, "is making assumptions without facts." "A doctor?" Brittany scoffed. "Please. Anyone can print an ID these days." Clark looked at Liam. "Did anyone see her purchase the item?" she asked. "Do you have a record?" Liam opened his mouth, then closed it. "I wasn't at the counter," he stammered. "But Brittany says that she's stealing," the older woman interrupted. Stepping forward, hand shaking but voice steady. "But we saw the whole thing. Your associate slapped her first. This woman never tried to run. She asked for the manager. She asked to show proof. The associate refused to look." "My granddaughter's been filming," the man added, gesturing to the teenage girl. "We have everything." Harris barely glanced at them. "Double quotes, sir. Ma'am, please step back," he said, already irritated. "We're handling the situation." "You're not handling anything," the teenage girl said under her breath. Camera still rolling, Jordan lifted her chin. "Officer Clark," she said, choosing carefully, "there are multiple witnesses. There is video evidence. There is a store system that will show a purchase under my name. Why is your partner treating me like I've already been convicted?" "Because you refuse to comply with simple directions," Harris snapped. "If you have nothing to hide, put the bag down so we can check it. And if I put it down and the receipt disappears," Jordan shot back. "If the system mysteriously glitches, Then what? Do I get a polite apology? Or cuffs? His jaw tightened. Don't get smart, he said. You're not helping yourself. Clark stepped a bit closer to him. Harris, she murmured, low. We have cameras. We have witnesses. Let's just verify before we escalate. He looked at her like she'd kicked his dog. You want to write the report, explaining why you let a theft suspect walk around with a $4,000 bag? He hissed. We have procedures. We have a constitution, Jordan said quietly. The girl with the phone whispered, Oh my God, to her TikTok live. Comments flew across her screen. Faster than she could read, Jordan's. Heart hammered. She could feel her control. Fraying at the edges, she needed help. Real help. Someone these people would listen to. She thought of one person, one name, one number she'd never used for anything personal, never leveraged for herself, the name of the man who chaired the hospital's philanthropic council, the man whose toddler she'd saved in the ER. After a freak allergic reaction, Elliot Marlowe, billionaire, major investor in La Maison. Aurel, he'd once told her, if you ever need anything, call me. I owe you my daughter's life. She'd smiled then, brushed it off as something people said in gratitude and forgot. She'd never intended to cash that check. Now, with her baby in her arms and a half circle of suspicion tightening around her, she realized this was the moment. Officer Clark, she said, voice suddenly calm, almost eerily steady. I'm going to take out my phone and make one call. I'm not resisting. I'm not leaving. I'm exercising my right to contact someone who can verify who I am and why I'm here. You don't have the right to, Harris snapped. Yes, she does, Clark cut in. We haven't placed her under arrest, but we also haven't let her leave. That's a form of detention. She can call counsel. This isn't a lawyer situation, Harris scoffed. This is a simple shoplifting call that now has 10 cameras on it, Miguel said quietly. And a crying baby. The room held its breath. Harris looked around at the phones, at the baby, at his partner. Fine, he finally spat. One call. But you keep that bag right where it is, you understand me? Jordan nodded once. Understood. She shifted Ava to her other arm, reached slowly into her coat pocket, and pulled out her phone. Her fingers trembled only once in the first digit, then muscle memory took over. The phone rang twice. Dr. Ellis. Came a familiar baritone, impatient but polite. I was just about to email you about the gala seating chart, Mr. Marlowe, Jordan said, loud enough for every camera to catch. I'm at the La Maison Oral flagship opening. A sales associate accused me of stealing the bag I purchased, slapped me, and called the police. An officer is treating me like a criminal in front of my daughter. Silence. Heavy. Electric. Then Elliot Marlowe's voice changed. All the warmth bled out, replaced by steel. What is the name of the associate? He asked. Jordan looked at Brittany. Her name tag says Brittany, she said. The manager is Liam. Security is Ken and Miguel. The officers are Harris and Clark. Elliot exhaled sharply. I'm 3 blocks away, he said. Do not hang up. Put me on speaker now. Jordan tapped the speaker icon and held out the phone. Mr. Marlowe, you're on speaker, she said. Everyone can hear you. Brittany's smirk flickered. Marlowe, she knew that name. Officer Elliot's voice boomed now, filling the boutique. This is Elliot Marlowe, primary investor in La Maison Oral and chair of the St. Raphael board. Who am I speaking to? Harris straightened slightly, thrown. This is Officer Harris, he said. We responded to a theft in progress. You responded to a racist lie? Elliot snapped. Dr. Ellis is one of the most respected physicians in this city. She saved my child's life. She is a guest of honor at the hospital gala my company is sponsoring. And you're treating her like a criminal because your employee didn't like the way she looks. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Phones caught every word. That's not. Harris started. Is there a video? Elliot demanded. Yes, the teenage girl blurted. I have the whole thing. The you people. All of it, good Elliot said. Officer Clark. Yes, sir, Clark replied, stepping closer to the phone. You will document everything accurately, Elliot said. The assault, the false accusation, the racial language. You will ensure Dr. Ellis leaves that store with her property and her dignity. Officer Harris, if you do anything to obstruct that, I will personally make sure your chief sees this footage on every major network by morning. Am I clear? Harris's face drained of color. Yes, sir, he muttered. Liam Elliott continued. Are you the manager? Liam swallowed hard. Yes, Mr. Marlowe. You will immediately check your system for a purchase under Dr. Ellis's name, Elliot said. And you will apologize to her for failing to intervene when your associate assaulted her. If I learn you tried to cover this up, you'll be unemployed by the end of the day. Yes, sir, Liam whispered. And Brittany, Elliot's voice dropped to a dangerous calm. You're fired. Effective immediately. Security will escort you out. Any attempt to spin this as anything but what it was, blatant racism and assault, will be met with legal action. Brittany's mouth fell open. You can't fire me over the phone, she stammered. You don't even know what happened. I watched the live stream, Elliot barked. This entire city watched. We saw you block her path. We heard your words. You people welfare. Put it back. We saw you slap a black mother holding her child. You are done, the boutique seemed to exhale. Ken stepped back from Jordan a fraction. Miguel closed his eyes briefly, relief washing through him. Double quotes, Dr. Ellis. Elliot's voice softened now. Are you all right? Is Ava okay? Jordan blinked tears she refused to let fall. Ava's shaken, she said. I'm standing. Shouldn't have had to, Elliot said. Not here. Not in a store my money helped build. I'm on my way. We're not ending this with a phone call. The line clicked. He was coming, and for the first time since the slap. Jordan let herself take a full breath. Not because a rich white man was coming to rescue her, but because the truth was out of Brittany's control now, because people were watching, because justice finally had witnesses outside. Sirens faded. Inside, every eye turned toward Brittany. Her world was about to collapse, and it was going to happen on camera. Brittany's confidence cracked first in her eyes. They darted from phone to phone, from Harris's red face to Liam's shaking hands to Jordan's quiet. Burning stare? This is insane, she snapped, but the edges of her voice frayed. You're all overreacting. I was just doing my job. We have a duty to protect the brand. Brand, the older man repeated slowly. From who? A doctor holding her baby? She doesn't look like a doctor, Brittany retorted before she could stop herself. The silence after those words felt like a verdict. Clark stepped forward, notebook in hand. Ms. Brittany, she said, tone. All business now. I need your full name for my report. Brittany crossed her arms. Why? I'm the victim here, no, Clark said plainly. We have multiple witnesses and videos indicating you initiated physical contact and made verbal threats. That's assault. R shifted uncomfortably. He'd spent years convinced he knew exactly what a suspect looked like. Today, the narrative slipped away from him faster than he could grab it. Liam moved to the back counter, hands shaking as he typed Jordan's name into the system. Dr. Jordan Ellis, he murmured. Private event list. Here you are. And yes. Purchase logged. 1 Noir-aligned handbag. Paid in full. Processed by? Kara. He looked up, face pale. It's right here, he admitted. She's telling the truth. We knew that already, the teenage girl said. We believed her from the moment you didn't. Liam swallowed. He looked at Jordan, at Ava, at the people recording, finally at Brittany. You hit a customer, he said, voice suddenly hollow. You called the police on a paying guest. You lied in front of my staff. I did what I had to do, Brittany insisted. Look around, Liam. Do you honestly think she fits our clientele? Do you want this place overrun with? She caught herself. But it was too late. The sentence didn't need finishing. Miguel closed his eyes. Ken looked away, suddenly very interested in the floor. The older white woman shook her head. People like you are why the world is like this, she said softly. And people like her, she nodded at Jordan, are why it might change. The boutique doors swung open. Elliot Marlowe strode in like he wasn't walking into a store but onto a battlefield. Gray at his temples, crisp suit, eyes bright with fury he wasn't bothering to hide. He didn't go to Liam. He didn't go to Brittany. He went straight to Jordan. "Dr. Ellis," said, voice thick. "Jordan, I am so sorry." She stood there, Ava heavy in her arms, cheeks still faintly red, shoulders squared. "I didn't ask for your apology," she said quietly. "I asked for justice." "You're going to get it," he replied. He turned, slowly, taking in the entire room and the phones. The officers, the staff frozen mid-scene. "My name," he said, voice carrying easily over the hush, "is Elliot Marlowe. I am the majority investor in this brand, and I fund the philanthropic arm of St. Raphael Medical. The woman you just humiliated, assaulted, and accused of theft is the doctor who saved my daughter's life." Guests, a low murmur. "When my little girl's airway closed in that," he continued. Dr. Ellis cut through chaos and panic and did what no one else could. "She brought my child back to me," pointed at Brittany, "and you slapped her while she held her own child. You threatened to have her baby taken away. You called the police and weaponized their power against her because you looked at her skin and decided she didn't belong." Brittany's knees seemed to lose strength. She clutched the iPad like it could stand between her and consequences. "Mr. Marlowe, please," she pleaded. "I didn't know who she was. If someone had told me she was important, I would have." Jordan's voice cut through, soft but lethal. "That's exactly the problem," she said. 4 words. Devastating. Brittany's mouth opened, closed. No excuse fit. Elliot nodded. "Everyone is important," he said. "Every customer. Every person who walks through those doors. Not just the ones with titles behind their names." He looked at Liam. "You saw this escalate," he said. "You heard the language. You saw your associate lay hands on a guest, and you did nothing until the cameras forced your hand." Liam's eyes filled. I was wrong," he said hoarsely. "I told myself I needed more information. I told myself it wasn't my place to intervene. I told myself I had a store to protect." "And how many times have you told yourself that before?" Elliot asked. "How many people walked out of here humiliated because you didn't want to rock the boat?" Liam's shoulders slumped. "Too many," he whispered. "I don't even know the number." "Then you are suspended effective immediately," Elliot said. "Pending a full investigation. You are not to contact staff or customers about this incident. Security will escort you out after you finish giving your statement to the officers." He turned to Brittany. "You," he said simply, "are terminated. Effective now. Human Resources will contact you about severance if there is any. You will be trespassed from all Amaz and Orel locations. And given the video I've seen, our legal team will be cooperating fully if Dr. Ellis chooses to press charges." Brittany shook her head frantically. "You can't do this," she cried. "My dad knows the regional director. I've brought in more sales than anyone. You're going to throw that away because she decided to make this about race?" "She didn't have to make it about race," the teenage girl shot back. "You did that all by yourself? You made it about race," the older woman added. "We all heard it. You people, does she look like a doctor? You didn't question a transaction. You questioned her humanity." Brittany turned to Harris like he was her last lifeline. "Officer, are you just going to stand there and let them harass me?" she demanded. "I'm the one who called you." Harris shifted, his earlier certainty crumbling. This was not the tidy shoplifter call he'd thought it would be. This was messier, public, dangerous in a different way. Clark stepped in, notebook ready. "We'll be taking everyone's statements," she said, "including yours." "Under oath? And my body cam footage?" she added quietly, tapping the device on her chest. "It's been recording since we walked in." Jordan closed her eyes briefly. Body cam, phones, witnesses, truth this time had backup. Elliot turned back to her. "Dr. Ellis," he said, "what do you want?" It was a genuine question. Not what do you need us to say, not how do we make this go away. What do you want? Jordan looked down at Ava, whose breathing had finally slowed, cheeks damp but calm. she asked softly. Would you have stepped forward? Or would you have looked back down at your shoes and told yourself, it's not my business? Ava toddled into frame, then tugging at Jordan's sleeve. Jordan smiled, lifting her onto her lap, kissing her curls. This is my daughter, she said. Her name is Ava. One day, she's going to see that video. She's going to see her mother standing in a store being treated like a criminal for daring to exist in the wrong body in the wrong space. But she's also going to see something else. Clips rolled, the woman saying, We saw everything. The girl sang, We believed her from the moment you didn't. Clark writing, Assault in her notebook? She's going to see that when someone tried to strip away her mother's dignity, Jordan said, voice steady and fierce, the world didn't let them get away with it. Not this time. She looked straight into the lens. So here's my ask, she said. Next time you witness something that feels wrong, someone being followed, questioned, humiliated for no reason, tell yourself it's not your business. Don't wait for someone braver to speak first. Be the one who records. Be the one who says, I saw what happened. Be the one who stands next to the person being targeted and says, You're not alone. Text appeared on screen. Based on real accounts of racial profiling, names and details changed, the pattern is not. Jordan's voice continued over a montage of everyday scenes, cashier scanning items, a bus driver greeting passengers, a security guard holding a door open. This story isn't polished, she said. It isn't comfortable. At Black Voices Uncut, we don't soften the edges of racism or clean up what it does to people. We show it, because if you can't face it, you can't fight it. The video cut back to her, sitting straight. Ava now asleep against her chest. If today's story shook you, she said quietly, don't just scroll. Share it. Talk about it. Ask the hard questions in your own circles. And if you've lived something like this, drop your story in the comments. You're not invisible. You're not overreacting. You're not alone. She let the silence stretch for a beat. Every view she finished. Every share, every comment that says, I see this. I won't accept this, is another voice in a chorus that says the same thing. Justice matters. Dignity matters. We matter. She reached out and tapped the camera off. On screen. Buttons appeared like comment, share, subscribe alongside links to anti-discrimination hotlines, legal aid organizations, and mental health resources for people facing racial trauma. The final shot faded in slowly. Jordan and Ledfa walking down a sunlit street. Hand in hand, LeMay's bag on Jordan's shoulder, not as a trophy, but as a symbol, not of luxury, of a line that was drawn. Voiceover. One last time. Some people think justice is a feeling. It isn't. It's a choice. A recording. A testimony. A decision to stand up when silence would be easier. So the next time you see someone being treated like I was, remember this. You don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to know a billionaire. You just have to refuse to look away. The screen went black, leaving only white text. Hashtag stand up, hash speak out, hash justice served, and somewhere. In 100 stores and streets and offices, someone watched, phone in hand, and decided that next time they would hit record.